To let Rudy get us started.
The whole world. I think that's what we should do. As our attorney left us right when she came on for this little guy, and he's growing like a weed, you know. He sees me, he starts crying, so I'm gonna keep me away from him. Yeah.
But this is Bennett, everybody. Y'all know I came here and I was pretty pregnant when I was here, but he was born March 1st, so he'll be 4 months old on Saturday.
What we would say to you who have children, at 25 and 21, enjoy these moments because they grow up right there. And they say, next thing you're not only that your kids, now you're your business partners.
Yeah.
And it's pretty awesome and amazing. And so enjoy these moments. All right, man. Nice to meet you, buddy. Yeah, we talked with you, and I think it's pretty cool. So let me ask y'all a question. So this is what my morning's been, and I don't know if y'all noticed on Tuesday mornings. I have my coaching call, and then I have my OP call today. That's basically, you don't like the word use boss, but let's just face it, that's basically it. But who's pouring into you on a daily basis in real estate? So I will share with y'all. If someone raise your hand, if you have to describe my initiative right now as a TL and or my life, what would you say it is?
Oh, passionate.
Okay, let me hear. Okay, those are both very good words, focus and passion. But I need, what am I focused on and what am I passionate about?
Building what?
Who said that? Oh, you cheat, you know it. I'm looking at you guys and, oh, you know, that's it. That's it. So with that, what did I do? Instead of talking about it to y'all every week, I went and signed up for KW Wealth Mastermind. Y'all, that's $1,000 of Mike Mulder's privately held money every month. So that can be better for you, yet more importantly, for myself, right? So I can be better to execute. So I want them to pour into me the ideas of how do I build wealth, whether it be the Augusta rule, whether it be whole life insurance. Why would you use that over term? Like these are things that never been. I've been selling real estate, buyers and sellers, right? You've heard me talk about buying long-term or short-term rentals, but really the money being the bank, right? The Banker's Code, never heard of that book. Now I have it, met the author. Those are things that, so the question I ask all of you, who is pouring into you? Who do you have working in your life to help you build wealth and or just to feel better about yourself, right? Like when you go to a gym, do you go by yourself or you take somebody with you that inspires you and or motivates you? Who in your real estate game is inspiring you or motivating you? Because ladies and gentlemen, this business is not for the faint of heart. It is a tough business. And you have to have somebody completely encouraging you all the time. So I'm gonna challenge them. Like I see the, I get it, it is summer. They got Kusta, thank God he's back. But that road would be completely empty. Heidi's been vacated from his seat, which is fantastic. That's good, but yet, it is the same. Y'all come every week, but my challenge is who is pouring into you? I'd like you to write that down and think about today, who is pouring into you and take action on it. And if they're a negative individual, I challenge you on it. Gary says the 5 people that you hang out with are who you are. So I would challenge you that if you want to be a millionaire, hang out with millionaires. You might want to build a billionaire inside there. That would be fantastic. Does anybody know what Thrive 25, what that initiative is? So Mark King came up with that. Mark King is our president. And that is to make 100,000 millionaires inside of Keller Williams. Who thinks of a leader that thinks like that? 100,000 millionaires by 2025. Think about that. And who are you hanging out with? To help you execute that. All right, so somebody tell me something good. I'm gonna start off with that today. You see my shirt? Everybody's ready, right? Y'all know this is my uniform. I have a uniform. You know, my dad worked for the Frisco Brands. Oh, growing up, we had a uniform for every day. Well, this is my uniform. Wow, it speaks. Why? People understand what I do for a living. So I'm in, let me tell y'all about something good. I'm in Inverness, Florida. Anybody know where that is? Anybody even heard of that? There's a few of you. I've never heard of it, but it's a little above Orlando or across from it. So just know that section, middle Florida. I am at an Elvis festival. There's the line for starts. I knew it was coming. And I set myself up for that. I'm secretly love it, but yet I will say out loud, it's for my mother. And as long as my mom is on this planet, at 77 years old, I will do Elvis with her all the days. So we travel. We were leaving for the festival on a Saturday afternoon, and I said, Marla, we're in Florida, and these people are crazy. Like they travel. You think I do this? They travel everywhere. I said, all these people will be wearing Elvis stuff. They do. I said, I'm gonna wear my dirt shirt. Yeah. Well, I'll let you know that we got two sets of that. So this lady behind me, she says, you're in real estate. I said, yeah. And her sister goes, do you not see Keller Williams on the back of it? Well, I didn't even know it said that. I said, yes, I am. She goes, well, listen, I live in Cumming, Georgia. Do you know what that is? And she says, oh, she said, me and my husband has fallen downstairs 3 times. We're in a townhome and we want to go to a ranch. We can make that happen.
Yeah.
Well, right, but yeah,
Yeah.
they're hard to find. We'll find, no. We will find it. Put it there. We will find it. So that was that one. Left it alone. The next day, her sister says, well, I'm kind of tired of Florida and I want to be near my sister. So will you help me find me somebody here? And we're gonna look near Ball Ground. You know that area? Oh, I know it well. So, but again, it was all because of the shirt. This was a contact sport. That's what you're in. That's the business you're in. So always remember that. Like a lot of y'all, if you walk secretly around, I got 2 leads just wearing a 5 shirt. And it was literally intentional. I didn't know purpose. Go in the moment. So that's my first time something good. Somebody else share me something good going on right now. Yes, sir. Steve.
I wasn't wearing your shirt this weekend, Mike, but I know you drilled it into me. But I think I told you this before, I'm working with, referral agents in Charleston for one of my key clients. Building a $5 million mansion on the island in Charleston, so that's gonna happen in September.
So is that you got the referral for that?
Referring it to Charleston.
Yeah. That'd be a nice little referral check, right? For just sitting out. Yeah, the question to ask yourself in your boxes, how many referrals did you send out this year? How many people know people moving to Florida? Go ahead and say yes, you do. Or know that moves to the mountains or whatever. Y'all might say you do it. Let's send out a referral. Simple as a phone number. All right, good, thank you. Somebody else? Yes, sir.
I'm sure not everybody here knows who I am, so I'm gonna introduce myself. I'm Antino, and being 2 weeks into this cold, all this new stuff, I'm always looking for ways to gain experience, learn new things. And today I'm going to look at a property with some buddies that they're trying to rent, and we're gonna try to get something going with that. And it's a great way for me to learn how to get going.
So just FYI, if you're looking for someone to partner with or someone new to the business, bingo. I mean, who does that? Who stands up their second week in the business and said, hey, here I am, world, and this is what I'm doing today to execute to get better. I'm proud of you. That's awesome. There's a people who took notes. Okay, I know what he looks like. I mean, he's a supermodel. Let's go. Somebody else, one more, let's go. I mean, you don't have anything to say. I mean, my colony, Mike. You've been struggling.
I just need for you to say, shout out for colleagues. Cheers for cheers, that's what
Okay, well, I'm not there yet. I'm not there. I'm not. See, we're not at Cheers for Peers just yet. We know you watch social media, she's been living her best life, right? Everybody say yes.
Yeah.
She has real estate, she built a big team and she, with her daughter, so how was your trip? When I say that is for inspiration, when you look at a big business.
It was amazing. It was the trip of a lifetime. We spent a week in the French countryside, hot air ballooning and bike riding through vineyards and it was so amazing, doing yoga and then 3 days in Paris.
I wanna be.
But I could only do that because I had somebody phenomenal holding the fort down.
Oh, that's interesting. Y'all hear that? Someone running her business while she's gone. She was running, she was here
Oh, she was running.
more than ever.
Well, so it's a whole team effort and I appreciate
So
it.
you need to turn your phone off and let her handle the business.
And she doesn't want to be me, she said.
Well, I don't want, if you ever watch my tagline, I don't want Michael to be me. I want him to create his own headlines. Yet I want to give him a platform to crush it. That, if that makes any sense, right? So where are you gonna be tonight? Thank you for sharing. Great inspiration. Where are you gonna be tonight at 8 o'clock?
Keller Williams Wealth, seminar,
How much was that?
400.
You paid $400. Why are you gonna be there?
Because I went to Brett Tanner a couple weeks ago and he blew my mind. It was a once in a lifetime experience and I had to make the investment. I thought it was cheap. Thought the
It is for 8 weeks, right?
8 weeks, 400.
To be in a room with millionaires. And what you want to get to, right? They know lots of businesses. They're sold real estate at a high level, huge leadership, right? Awesome. All right. That's all I got. Anybody else who's going missing
Are
my?
we on Cheers for Peers yet?
Say it again.
Are we on Cheers for Peers now?
We are. Hold on. You don't get to go first. Terry gets to go first. Cheers to yours. Oh,
That's the problem report now. Have a great trip.
great.
All right, so, this past weekend, I had a very quick turnaround. I needed, inspection done, and then during the inspection, I realized I needed the roof to be looked at a little bit further. So Stephen in the back and Todd in the back teamed up together over the weekend and made it so I was able to get through due diligence without much problem. They both checked everything out, and now Todd is actually getting to make the repair he went to go check out for these sellers.
Yeah.
So it's all working out. They did they turned it around really quickly, and which is what we need these days. You don't really have something.
You do a bang job. Yeah. Now, I'm not exactly sure why, because they are the front line, not only because of what they do, but you get them. And they're gonna execute on that. Todd took me to lunch, last Tuesday, we talked about this, right? And we are his, top organization. He can go to realtors everywhere. But he likes to be focused right here.
Yeah, that really makes a big difference because I have called another inspection company and with another transaction. And that is not who showed up. He said other people, and then they did a report. It just really did not work out well. So it's nice that you are having you're dealing with the same person the whole way through.
Yeah, so. A wealth building tip, number one, today I'm giving you, your banker. Can you walk in, I almost said CBS, can you walk into, I almost said CNS, and some of you weren't even born. But let's go back to that. Can you walk in your bank and get money? Do you know who the general manager is, the owner, or whoever is at the bank? That's my challenge all you, find you a small community bank that knows you personally when you walk in. That's what these guys are. They're not bankers, they usually extract money from me, but yeah, it's helped me get what I can help them down for myself and for my clients. Yeah, they're fantastic. Thanks for sharing that. One more, tell me something good. I want you to talk about the attorneys and I want you to talk about the lenders. Go ahead, Connie. You can talk about me if you want to.
Thank you, Mike, because you helped me, to go out and call on a friend of mine who I just reached out to, and he was like, hey, you sell real estate, right? Yeah, sure. And he said, hey, I got a friend who's selling a house. He couldn't get it sold. He had it with another realtor, and it expired, but he went back with them. He called him up and said, hey, this is my guy. You're gonna go, they terminated that one, and I signed the listing yesterday.
I heard a lot of ahas, a lot of people in here. Two things your clients think about you. You're either not in the business anymore, or you're too busy for them. Because he should, my aha said, you Tony, no one should ever be calling you, you're still in the business, ask that question. So what do I have to do? Learn from that and say, wait a minute, I've got to hit that farm a little bit better, or my sphere of influence a little bit better. So no one's calling me, am I in the business? Of course I am. I need to do a better job of that. Thank you for sharing that with me. I do want to say thank you to Sam, because Sam did a call to action in here for all of you. And I know that it struck up your business big time. So we all made calls that day or text messages, and it had leads coming in, a lead book. You should be doing that every day, make it part of your everyday morning ritual, like doing push-ups. Okay, right. Yes, ma'am, Mary Ann, last one.
Thank you. I wanted to say thank you so much for last Thursday's.
Thank you.
That was phenomenal. Ashley, Nicole Kelly and Sorahan. Rick Michael and Gray. Where's the rest of our folks?
Right here.
The biggest guy in the it was great, and many of us got to talk to people that we see in the hallways, we see at the office. Great opportunity to get to know each other a little bit better, have some fun,
Yeah.
and it was wonderful.
Now, who beat Matt? That's all I'm worried about. I could care less. I think it's great. I was just making sure that someone's gonna beat him. Who beat him? Who beat you?
Hunter got me on the first game, Andy Peters got me on the first game, but I was trending up.
Yeah,
I was trending up.
I was trending up. I love it. I love it. All right. Thank y'all. We'll finish with that and then we'll jump right into them. I want to thank you guys for throwing that little social. It's not always about just selling homes. It's about going and letting your hair down a little bit and having fun. Right? And y'all were able to do that. So thank you all. Sorry, I missed that. I was hanging with Elvis and so let me be, right? That's a great line with Elvis and Greece. Some of you still weren't born. I gotta stop that. I am making my age show.
Well, it's really good for history, you know?
Yeah, right. It's history. Thanks. All right, let's move forward. Come up, because I'm gonna give you an opportunity because you did provide breakfast. If you didn't eat breakfast, I'm sorry. I don't think he's eaten in like a year. Be good, dude. Yeah, I know that I've worked for, Todd House. You know, Todd was how life goes. Todd was my boss at the newspaper, and he was studying to get his real estate license in the 1990s. It was like 90.
Before you finish, how many people have heard that story already?
Everyone. It was five. If you.
Well, that's because people are paying attention, because I know everybody has heard that story.
You know what? You're done. Thanks, Todd. I was saying that who you're in business with matters. I was sharing a good story because I'm sorry. You, Brian, have never heard this story, have you, sir?
No, I never heard.
Joe, you never heard it. So I was sharing a little future past with you. So go ahead, Todd. This is why I don't work with you anymore.
I first wanted to say, I'm Todd Over, if you don't know me. I just want to tell you my appreciation for this office. If you're new to real estate, I work in several offices, and if you're ever thinking of leaving or grass screener, don't think that. This is the best office. I've been in other offices and they just don't have the camaraderie that this office has. everybody cares about each other here, and, you know, don't ever think that the grass is greener, because this is the best office I've ever worked in. And I enjoy coming here, I enjoy the people here, and everybody's always there, wait, so. Everything, yeah.
Well, that was a good shift, and he can keep his job, he's still in that.
Of course, I'm in the roofing business. We do anything from total roof replacements to small repairs. As Estrella said, we're doing a repair for her tomorrow, where we're just taking out the power fan and doing the maintenance package. Most of the time, you'll see when you get your inspection report, there's always something wrong with the roof. Please don't freak out over that. Just give it a call. We'll get it done. You know, a lot of the times it's just maintenance. Caulking of the boots, putting rain collars on boots, painting rusty stacks. Little things like that, caulking exposed nail heads. Maybe there's missing shingle or broken shingle and fixing a few things. And bringing it up to par. No one ever gets up to inspect their own roof. No one. So most of the time, you always have that in an inspection report because no one has maintained it. I mean, how many people are in here and are like, oh, well, I wonder what my roof looks like. Let me get up there and take a look at it. And make sure that everything's okay. It doesn't happen. So out of sight, out of mind, and that's why you always see it on an inspection report. There's really not that big a deal. It seems that way, but it really isn't. If we do get out there, when we get out there, we do see if there's the age of the roof, does it need to be replaced? Is there weather damage on there? Because if there's weather damage, we usually get an insurance company to pay for the roof, which makes everybody happy. The seller doesn't have to pay everything out of pocket, the buyer gets a brand new roof, and gets make money. Everybody's happy, all three. Does anybody have any questions, concerns?
I do. First of all, thank you. Yeah, so, you own a townhome. And there's a special assessment, needs a new roof. And I get the bill for $3,700. Can I make an insurance claim on that?
The homeowners association has to make the claim.
So basically, if I get the
If you don't own it, and if you're paying dues for your homeowners association that takes care of the exterior of the complex, then they should have their own insurance for the entire complex. And then they need to file a claim with that insurance carrier.
So that would be my response back to them with the special assessment bill they just sent.
Yes.
Okay, everybody understand what I just asked?
Yeah.
It's a townhouse.
Yeah, the townhouse.
Townhouse, and then you own it.
No, no.
The townhouse is H06. You can do that. They have an H06 policy. I have one right now that's closing on Friday. That's the same one.
I will talk about that. So thank you.
We have that written down.
Some townhouses, you know, you are responsible for the roof itself, and the homeowners, that doesn't come out of your monthly dues or yearly dues. Some of them, you know, I did one for April where.
I was just about to do a cheer thing in 2021, when all, you know, what was breaking loose in the market, and he was out there so fast and really did a great job.
So it just depends on the association, who's has the insurance on it.
Okay.
So you don't have insurance on that house yourself, do you?
Well, no, there's like 10 other doors and taxes on roof. That's why I'm asking that question, right? Okay, so yeah, my problems just went. That's okay. All right, anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
Tom, what do you mean by a maintenance package for a roof?
So a maintenance package is basically, you have your extremities that come out of the roof, your plumbing stacks that have boots that keep water out, you have your heating stacks. And what happens is when you're not taking care of these in a regular manner, the heating stacks start to rust, you get rust on them. The plumbing boots are rubber and they start to dry on. Your caulk on your nail heads, when you put your rubber boot on, you have to nail it to the roof. Well, you got exposed nails, so you put caulk on it. Well, eventually that caulk goes away. If you have skylights, they caulk around it. That caulk eventually wears away. So we get out there, we just update everything, we caulk everything, we repaint everything, we put rain collars, where boots need to be replaced, replace the boots also. We're doing, that's what we're doing for Australia. We're gonna not only take out the power fan and cut that out, and redeck that area, reshingle it, but we're gonna go ahead and re-caulk all the boots, maintenance and things like that.
How often do you think that needs to be done?
Bruce can typically last, it depends on weather, it depends on where the house is facing, is it facing, is the backside where usually all your extremities are, is that facing directly in the sun like mine is? The rubber's gonna wear out a lot quicker, so typically you can go anywhere about 7 to 9 years. You'll have, say, 5 to 7, I would have been 7 to 9 in that range, that your house will come out and take a look at it.
So the maintenance is an annual thing, just like.
Every 7 to 9 years, you do maintenance on the roof.
All right, one more and I gotta move. Just real quick shout out. I've referred a close friend of mine to Todd, 6 to 8 months ago. He still brings it up, the level of service that you provided. I mean, we're just out grabbing a beer and he brings you up. I mean, that's pretty special for someone who's dealing with the roofing industry. Andrew, yeah. So always makes you look good when you refer to somebody and they knock it out of the park. So.
I said that to somebody who dropped the ball. I said, look, when I refer you, my expectations is the highest level of service and you won't get that again.
And what I have to say to that too, listen, are we perfect? No, we have human beings that build these roofs. Human beings make mistakes. In our business, mistake and regularly. But the follow-up is what's key in this business and keeping good referrals and everything. So if there is something that someone didn't like, I'm gonna be out there and I'm going to make sure that they're okay with everything and make sure that everything is taken care of always.
Well, I'm kicking him off stage, but he is not in the roofing business. He's no different than you are in our real estate agents. You're in the real estate space and everything he said is what you should be doing, what we should be doing as well inside of our real estate business.
I'm in the people business.
You're in the people business. That's right. Things up. We're gonna do exciting stuff. I keep staring at this young lady and I'm like, who is that in the office? But now I now it all came back and I figured it out. So I'm gonna let Matt and Shelter and her dog go first. All right, good deal. So come on down. Good morning. You guys. Good morning. I see somebody that I didn't see anywhere back there. What is that? How are you? I feel like I already know you.
Yeah, exciting news. Hunter and I decided there was just way too much testosterone. This is Erin DiArmas. She's been a loan officer within the shelter organization for 9 years. She's been originating. She was connected with the Mark Spain, and then before that was actually Keller Williams in town. And Mark Spain, when that shifted, we saw an opportunity to start recruiting her. We felt like she'd be a great fit for this office. Awesome personality, very detail oriented, knows every product, every program. But today is her first day with us as the third loan officer on our team. She's from California. I won't go into too much. You can talk about yourself, but from California.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you.
Yeah.
I'm super excited to be here. Yes, I'm like, you guys need a woman on your team. So, I think this will be great. I live in Swanee, so going to Atlanta for as many years as I did was taxing. So I was super pumped and I've heard amazing things about this office. So I'm really excited to be here. Like Matt said, I have been in the business since 2013, which is when I moved here from Northern California with my husband and our 17-year-old daughter who just graduated high school last month. Which is crazy. Thank you. And you know, as far as anything about me, in the summertime, as often as I can, you'll find me on Lake Lanier.
Yep.
Wake surfing.
She fit right in.
So that's where we were this weekend, finally got some decent weather. But I'm super happy to be here, you guys. I know these two are rock stars, so I'm just really excited to get to know you guys too and kind of slide right in here and just be another member of this team and see what we can do. So come say hi to me. I'll be around today. I'd love to meet you guys.
I'll be short and sweet today. Good news, rates did pull back last week, so from about 6.99% national average down to 6.875. I would expect to see this range anywhere from 6.5 to 7 until again we get really good inflation news. The jobless claims that have been coming out are an indicator that we're potentially going to be moving into that recession, which will probably stop the Fed from increasing interest rates moving forward. So hopefully by the end of the year, we'll see a drop. Another thing I wanted to talk about real quick was, so condos. Right now, Fannie and Freddie have a ton of time on their hands. There's less volume. And when that happens, they get, start scrutinizing and going through with a fine tooth comb information that may have kind of slid under the rug. So a lot of lenders are seeing buyback situations with HOAs. So when we're getting on our side, we're submitting all that documentation into the condo department. They're reviewing the financial stability of the condos. Very, very important to have that special step that Ashley and Amy talk about, which is the GAR SS 528.
I think it's 528.
528, okay, good deal. Which basically just gives you coverage outside of the financing contingency. So we can have a client who's pre-underwritten, we know their finances are good. Zero that day, or I need to do 5 days, but we want to have 17 to 20 days coverage for your buyer, so that the earnest money is covered if the HOA is not approvable. All right.
Yes, so I got good news. We do have the ITIN product now, so there are a few requirements and we're looking at the guidelines. We'll teach a class on it in the next couple of weeks. You do have to have a 660 FICO score. You have to put 20% down, max loan amount of $1 million, minimum loan amount of 100,000. Primary or secondary residences. So that's really the high level overview of the product that we have for right now. We'll do, again, like I said, each class, we'll get a flyer out to all you guys and get some more information on that. Another thing we wanted to talk about, so for your listings, I know a lot of buyers are coming in trying to get seller concessions, especially if the house has been on the market for a few weeks or a little bit longer than that. So what we were talking about is on your listings, if they're in the city of Atlanta or surrounding areas, reach out to us and see if it's eligible for Borrow Smart. If it is eligible for Borrow Smart, you can put in the listing remarks to have any potential buyers reach out to us for a $3,000 credit towards their closing costs to minimize the seller concessions you have to give up as the listing agent, help you get your net for your seller that they want to achieve, help us get more deals, and we'll also get the client a $3,000 closing cost credit and lower interest rates. So
How are you living on that?
144,000 a year. It just went up a couple weeks ago from 134 to 144.
This can be single or couples.
Yeah, so it can be one person or two people together. If they apply together and they make over 144,000 combined, we can take one of their incomes out of the system if they still qualify with just one income. They can both be on the loan. We'll just not utilize the income qualification.
Cool. All right, so second home and or investment property, two different products. No, I'm asking separate. Okay. What's the interest rate going right now? If I identify a town right now, I'm gonna buy it. What are we looking at?
8.125.
A little over 8?
Well, it depends on what you're putting down. So I always tell with investors and
30%.
well, you can't get down. Right now,
20.
right now with the rates being higher, 25% down for a second home or an investment property is a sweet spot. You can get half a point lower in the interest rate by putting down that extra 5%. It's a low.
I would say 7.
Yeah, low
I
7.
think about 7 on.
Okay, good, okay.
Investment property is going down 20%. You're gonna have to pay for it, so.
Yeah, it was still at about a point, it was about mid-7s, but he was doing 25%.
Okay.
So there is a difference between 20 and 25% that's substantial.
So let's just say I do that hypothetically.
Sure.
And so next year, rates hit 4. I can refi, and y'all will still do the same deal that you're telling everybody that you will refi and
Remove all lender charges and there's additional benefits.
there you go.
Yeah.
That's all I needed.
Love it.
And welcome to the team one more time. So I heard Bennett back there
Yeah.
and I see he's gone.
Marion has them right now.
Well, come on down, and if you brought him down here, we all kind of know kids, like. Someone get it. Cause I don't think if you heard Aaron say, mine's 17 and just graduated, like, boom, that just happened, like, you wake up and like, how did that just happen?
It totally did.
Yeah, that's what happens, you heard the screaming, and you said, Lord, please stop this, and now you wish you heard screaming. I know.
I don't know where she took it.
Different.
How are we doing? Did you bowl? And how did you do?
Good idea.
You had the bumpers, didn't you? You had help. No bumpers. I should be back.
I can attest to that. Also, now look at, she said, how do I do this?
He's a bull shark, I mean, a bowling shark, excuse me.
This is like Matt's before sound. It was like tiny little steps and then like.
I was expanding that, I mean, it's. All right, Bennett, welcome back to the team, and that's what Bennett cries, because he hears me being loud, and it's like, sorry, but go ahead, tell us something good in the attorney world.
Actually, with the inspiration of Bennett here today, to talk about the due on sale clause in the security and also adding someone to title. So I had a closing last week actually, and they were wanting to add their child who was not 18 to the deed. Cannot do that. In the state of Georgia, they're in the security, there's a due on sale clause that would trigger the loan to be paid in full if you add someone to title other than a spouse or an adult child. There's also provision for something with the trust. If you have that case, give us a call, we'll talk through that. But you cannot add a brother, cannot add a parent, you cannot add a fiance. If there's a loan, if it's a cash closing, you can add whoever you want. Make sure they're 18 though, but you cannot just add whoever you want to the title without running that first by us, but typically it's gonna be only a spouse or an adult child. So keep that in mind, because you don't want your client to be upset at the table, if they're just finding that out. I'd be more than happy to talk to them if they have any questions related to that, but just keep that in mind for your closings, it does come up.
So let me say this, 19-year-old, you add in the title, what are red flags when you do that, or you add someone else to the.
They are an owner of the property, so when you go to sell the property, they have to sign off on it, and they would also be entitled to some of the proceeds as well. So keep that in mind. A lot of people will try to do it for estate planning purposes. Just kind of think through that, talk to an estate planning attorney before you do that. You can call us as well, but that's really the reasoning that I see most for people wanting to add an adult child to title. But just keep that in mind. They would then have to sell it, or they would have to sign on the contract when you sell the property. They would have to sign the closing document, and they would be entitled to part of the proceeds.
Yeah, I think it's a estate plan, like you said, you put your 19-year-old son on there, and then you marry someone in Texas, and y'all don't get along, you don't like each other, and you never see your son ever again.
Yep, and there's a lot of different.
That stuff happens.
Oh, yeah. So there's a lot of different situations that can come up with that, so just make sure they talk with an attorney first, if they're even wanting to do that. But keep in mind, if they are wanting to add them, those are really the only exceptions if there's a mortgage on the property.
Are you giving him a pacifier?
I normally am.
Because he's teething like crazy, and he is one to that way.
I think he's amused by the screen back there.
I kind of make sense. I kind of have that same. All right, thank you.
Thank you for the class coming up on Wednesday, July 12th, right here in this room from 10 to 11. We're gonna do kind of a closing refreshers class, some more details to come on that, but we hope to see you here on July 12th.
We will see you here. Now, I don't see Andrew, so 210, there's Amy and Emily. And there's Shelter, and there's Aaron. Thank God we added somebody to those two guys. That's fantastic. Okay, there they are, choosing them more. Again, ladies and gentlemen, you get them. So that's why it's so important. And I do have, on my properties, I have Kelly, and it's just awesome. Andrew has all my stuff as well. We'll redoing that now. So I don't see Sam and or Lucy here today, but how are they doing? Do me a favor, send them a thank you if you really like what Sam and Lucy are doing. They're here a lot. They're really poured into us. I think that call to action that Sam did last week was huge. And I was super excited. They are, if you're new in the room, they're our technology and Command is really, it's grown, it's had its growing pains. And they helped us out as our CRM that we use to contact our database. Ruth is our broker and she is in the house when you have an issue. I love it. I'm sure you sent me a message. Come on down. Okay, send me a message and said, Mike and Ruth, here's the issue. I'm like, Ruth, sent to Ruth. And then when we start to go to jail, I jump in. because I never want this sweet lady to go to jail.
So far, we stayed out.
We stay out, but you know, 20 years. So as Todd said, and I said the story 100 times. Well, the story repeats itself because it's true, right? We're in people business. And I went to jail with you for 20 years. You and I have not gone to jail yet. We have not lost our license. We haven't lost our license. No, we're not going to because we have great attorneys who have classes where we dot our i's and cross our t's. We have great mortgage lenders who help us stay out of trouble to make sure mortgage fraud is staying out of our existence. We have attorneys helping us make sure that when we do a wire transfer, that there's no fraud involved, because that's what they're doing every day. And then we have you helping us protect our earnest money when we have a lot of earnest money on the line. And we can make a mistake. So when you're out there, you need to make sure that, you know, you're asking great questions, or ask a broker before you do something that costs you a lot of money.
Well, hopefully we haven't had any big problems like that.
No, ma'am.
I want to talk to you today about the, disclosure, community disclosure, which she's gonna bring up, I'm gonna show you. Now, you know, we're familiar with this, but we do not fill this out. We don't do this. We give it to our clients and they fill it out. So we got a situation, we have some pretty smart agents in this office, you may not know it, but Liz John. So I'm gonna get Liz to come up and talk. So in this document,
Does Liz know you're calling on her?
yeah, I told her.
Oh.
Yeah, she gave me all the notes here and here.
Oh.
Anyway, on the second page of this, on the very top line, it says transfer initiation and administrative fees. And then it has a number that you're supposed to put in there that the buyer will have to pay when they buy the house, right? Buy whatever it is. So Liz, being such a smart agent she is, come on up, Liz, you had, she.
Come on, she's not, come on now, come on, she's not used to it, come on. Come on.
She could over it. I'm just standing here. Or just stand up. Okay, so she has this contract that she's representing the buyer. And the seller is supposed to do himself, right? So she sees that this is blind. So she tells the attorney, we're not paying any fees because the seller did not fill this out. So for some reason, I don't know why it wasn't, maybe explain that she was using the seller's attorney. But, so the attorney came up with another term for that. What was that term, Liz? You remember? I got it in my phone. I'd never heard of that.
It is on, in the, the last page, second page, I think.
She printed out all this stuff for me to read and I didn't get a chance. Okay, so anyway, she, because I've never heard of it. This attorney came up with something to call that was not what it was, right? So Liz, being the smart agent, she goes to closing. She sees this on the settlement statement. What is this? Well, the attorney had to crow. He had to take it off because it was something he made up to charge the buyer that the buyer shouldn't have to pay. And when I found this thing from Liz, I'll tell you what it was. It was the insurance. Okay.
So if you have.
Capital contributions, working capital contributions got on the settlement statement, which benefited the seller, right? So Liz argued about this, what kind of tricky she thought. And so anyway, she talked to us, said, Liz, how did that happen? I don't understand how you were able to talk to this. Well, it all happened because of a knowledgeable agent, Liz. So you need to know what you're doing. I'm so proud of her. And I'm proud of all you do. I just wanted to tell you to watch out. And if you can, use an attorney like one of our attorneys, you know they're good attorneys.
At the end, the attorney wanna send me the college football ticket.
You want to send you what?
College football game ticket.
Well, you can't. No, I like that. I think it's good. And she's knowledgeable. And when we see that, but here's what y'all do too. If you see an agent, just don't be nasty. Just help educate them. It's nice to be, you should be nice in the playing field.
Well,
I don't think she was unkind to me.
No, I'm saying that in general to everybody.
Yeah, I'm just saying that I had never heard of anything like that happening, and when it's just surprising that things could happen to your disadvantage if you don't know what to do. So in her case, she saw that on the settlement statement, she said, what is this? And the settlement the attorney had to grow, take it off. So thanks, y'all keep working hard.
John, y'all can fight for it. I have hey, Rich.
I just wanted to say something about the disclosure on the, that your clients fill out. I've had 2 instances where when the sellers filled out the document, where it gets to like initiation fee, like they didn't put initiation fee in there, even though there was one, so they ended up having to pay it. And I say, that's one thing I always say from now on, if you don't know about the initiation fee, then you call your HOA and find out, because you don't want to get burned on the initiation fee. Because the first one that happened is they had bought the house brand new from the development. The HOA papers, when they went to fill out the disclosure, they pulled their HOA papers, there was nothing in there about initiation fee.
Right.
But then somewhere along the way within the 4 years that they decide to sell, they was taken over by somebody else and that changed. So they didn't know that, so they ended up eating $1,000 at closing because of that. So I always tell people, call and make sure, and I bring up initiation fee.
That's serious money.
Yeah, I got burned on that, yeah.
So I do the same thing, and I just pulled it up. So when I'm sending somebody the disclosure to fill out, I say, this is the community association disclosure. This document will tell the buyer the HOA, including all fees and amenities. Please reach out to your HOA management company for an updated fee schedule. It is stated as 5B. The seller shall pay any amount in excess of the sum disclosed. So I always tell people to put a cushion on there. First, get a fee schedule and then double it.
There you go. Matt had a question, last one.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, if they don't know and then they can't reach the HOA because a lot of HOAs are not responsive, spend $1,000 in there and just cover yourself.
Well, it ain't covering yourself as an agent.
Well, I'm saying cover the sellers.
It's on them.
Because the seller will pay anything of excess of what's disclosed. And if they disclose nothing or 0, then they pay all. Seller. Did I just say that correct? Seller.
Yeah. So you're giving this document to your seller.
But if it says 0, then do a happy dance for your buyers because they're not gonna pay.
I just say, hey, girl, call me.
Hey, girl, call me.
Call me and find it.
Yeah, I wouldn't put anything. I let them handle that. That's what, make sure you understand, that's how disclosure is for the seller. I don't need y'all filling out anything. I need you to sign for somebody.
Yeah.
Do not, even check boxes, and you're just putting yourself in a very bad liability situation if you touch that document.
All you do is.
And this one as well. This one, keep to myself.
Yeah, I know, I'm just, in general speaking, in contracts, when it is not your, you should not be filling out stuff.
Exactly.
No, no.
All right, thank y'all.
Thank you. Come down as we move. I do want to use one more, tell me something good. Has anybody noticed the new fans? They're not drooping down on their head.
Yeah.
They're not pretty cool, right? Did anybody notice the chair? Everybody notice the new up here? We got to do the next table up here. Have y'all noticed that? That's good stuff, right? Well, that's execution on Carrie Foster, and I want to thank her. Thank you. Yeah, that's a big thing. It's a little thing, but I will tell you this. They mega agent did not like just say, made observations. The plane's wings are hanging down. And I said, well, fix that. And they were 20-year-old fans. So what do your clients think when they walk in a 20-year-old house and they see the golden white? Well, that's kind of coming back, but yeah, change it out and done.
Huge difference. Whoa.
Yeah, it's little things. I don't know what these guys are, but you know, they're there. All right, what you got? I think you're on 6 and 7, right? We're 5 and 6.
We're on 5 and 6.
All right, let's move through this. Take a look at it.
Definitely looks nice. Well, good morning, China.
Good morning. One thing, you were asking earlier if we needed to share anything, right?
You know, I went to Cancun on Wednesday, regional, stay there for, through Sunday. And I'm at the airport and I get a text from a lender that I haven't done business with in a little while. And he says to me, I need an agent in Colombia, South America. to help me with that. So I'm at the airport. I'm friends with the PC coach in Bogota, Colombia. And I texted her and I said, somebody needs to sell something and they need to buy something. Could you help? She put me in touch. She said, find out if I need the area I need this so I can give to the right person. She did that. It literally took maybe 3 or 4 texts, maybe a couple of emails, and I managed to put together an agent, but I was agent in Colombia with somebody that's having a body, and I'm getting a 25% referral because I use the leverage of the system, right? Keller Williams, the networking and everything like that. So figure out a way to leverage the company you're in business with. Okay, we're not in business just in, I know you're licensed in Georgia, so am I, right? But we can do business everywhere if we refer it, and we can do it at an international level, okay? So we've been talking about this for the last 2 or 3 weeks. 6 ways to grow your business. Mike, can I ask you something?
You sure can.
What we do is a neuroscience, is a neurosurgery, or any of those things?
No, y'all hear me talking every week and I just still show up. A lot of you show up every week. I've done over 500 team meetings. And as Todd said, I repeat myself. That gives me age as well. We're just proud of where we're at today and where we've come, right? It's a buyer, seller, and investor, and that's it. That's it. And people ask me all the time, I get people come in my office all the time and say, what do I need to do? And I got this big 100 thing. And the first number one, and then some of y'all might be on Facebook, this real estate mastermind thing. I know Dallas is on there because he's always the one that shows up that likes it. And the last thing someone said, what we do, and it showed, and number one was open houses. And people, I get that question all the time. Like, if your business is down, 2 things happen. You go on vacation because your business will go up. That's true. Everybody say yes. And open houses. But it's a contact sport. It's the same as it was 20 years ago. Technology has changed for the better. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's people business, people driven. And COVID was the biggest example for all of us to understand. I don't give a rat's how good your steak is. If you have no customers, that's that thing when we sold.
So we can agree that we do the same thing over and over and over and over, right?
Yes.
As far as, selling houses, helping buyers.
Yes.
Technology has helped. I mean, you guys have no idea, if you've been in the business for the last 3 or 4 years, how easier, much easier you have it now than way back when we started. We didn't have technology back then, right? But we still managed to do what? Sell property, buy some well, get buyers, have the meeting of the minds and have a successful transaction, right? So it's a good thing to go back to the basics for building blocks, that's how I like to call them. So if you want to hit the 6 ways to grow your business and thrive in the market, part 3. And we're keeping it simple. So a quick recap on what we talked about in part 1 and 2, right? Make it personal. It's your business, right? It shouldn't be all about this. It is, but make it personal. Capture your EC wins, right? We talked about that. Be consistent in social media and go old school when needed. It still works, okay?
Yeah, I'm gonna add to that, and I talk a lot to everybody here, but you're only here for one reason. And the problem in America is everybody's talking about money being the bad thing. And I will make sure you all understand that. You are only here because you make money. Because if you're not, please come work for me for free for a year. I would love it. Like my intern, he is here for a few times, but he's not working for me for free. None of you are going to do that, right? We can go sit in Tahiti and do whatever we want to do in the Maldives, right? We're here to make money. Correct. That's it.
So we talk about maximizing that. That's
Yes.
it, right?
Yes.
And that's what we're basically coming back to tell you. Maximize the opportunity, right? And are you doing that? Well, let me ask you, this is the one thing we neglect to do. So we talk about this, I'm glad that we touched on each one of those, gave examples and everything. But are we asking for the business? I don't know what the issue is, but hard as it is for us to generate leads, convert them, go appointments, have the buyer brokerage agreement signed, have the listing agreement signed, and then we neglect to ask for what? Business. from our clients. And how do you do that, right? It says right there, something along the lines of, thanks for being my client, but I want something from you. Sounds scary. Now, how do you overcome that? Because that's a fear, right? I feel weird about asking for both business because they're gonna think it's all about the money. You provide rock star service. If you do that, if you set the standard from the get-go, guess what happens? You're gonna be so pleased with you, with me, Mr. Client, Mr. Seller, Mr. Buyer, that you have nothing to do but send me referrals. That's what you're gonna pay me for, what I'm gonna be doing for you, right? Now, let me ask you this. What do you think this looks like? I'm so thankful for representing you as an agent. I'm sincerely grateful for entrusting me to serve you, and I will work very hard to make this the best experience possible for you. That being said, my business exists and thrives on referrals. And what I want to do is such a good job for you that you want to tell your friends about me when they're looking for an agent. So if you don't mind, I'm gonna ask you along the way, if there are people you know who might be looking to buy or sell their home in the next 2 years, is that okay? Can you do that, Joe? Yeah. Is that okay? All right. So let me ask you this. How else are we neglecting to get business? How many of you took a listing in the last month? Is it under contract? Did we tell the world that it was under contract? Did we put a sign? That is one of the things that I noticed probably for the last 4.5 years. People are no longer putting the under contract signs. Some of you are, but a lot of them are not doing that because things were selling so quickly. It didn't matter, you know, I'm just so busy with all the business that I'm getting. I'm getting more business.
But you gotta make noise. You need to be noisy out there. The people need to see what you're doing.
Exactly.
I know, some agents I've been working with lately, that the business been down, and then they start making noise. They started popping up again. I'm like, you gotta keep making noise. Make bigger noise. Yeah.
I was talking to one of our agents, she happens to be on vacation, you guys know her, Sandy, she's in Alaska, and she has 3 listings, I believe 2 of them are under contract already, okay? Now, as great as that sounds, I asked her a question, and I would be asking the question if she was here. How does the next month look for you? And you know what she said to me? I need to step it up. I need to step it up, right? Because getting business is not the problem. Eventually, all of you will. Even if you don't want it, if you tell it, if you keep your license active and you tell enough people you're in the business, something's gonna happen. The issue is, can you make it happen the next month? And the next month, and the next month, right? And lastly, and this is just a statement, we're gonna talk about it, and let Mike walk through. What should, my friends, the market has changed. That doesn't mean don't invest in yourself, please do. But don't spend needlessly. You don't need to try 10 different things and spend money 10 different ways to figure out what, you know, where your next lead is gonna come from. Figure out, try different things, and if something is starting to work, then spend more money into that.
Yeah, you should always play red light, green light. We teach that in the MRI model. You've got to watch. It could be a cold winter. We don't know, right? So you don't know, but you got to be, excuse me, smart with your money. Don't go order the Porsche right now. Just don't do it. But you can't.
That's in the well building.
I'm doing that.
That's a different thing. That's money well spent.
Money.
That's what I have, Chad North, take it away, use this stuff. It is basic, it is simple, but it works.
You know, and I will say this too. Do y'all know that y'all inspire me? So you think that your own thing, and I'm gonna use an example, and I apologize to this person that I didn't actually mention, so I might be in trouble, but I'm just gonna talk about her anyway. And Allison, she took a great trip, and her friends inspire me because she had a friend with a private jet. Sorry, I'm using, sorry. But do y'all know that inspires me? Like I'm like looking at her going, I hope this inspires you to keep doing what you're doing, keep doing what you're doing. You know, me and Brad are good. I get it, but this boat that I saw you on doesn't stink. And it's a fun time, right? And it took money to do that, right? So that's why I challenge y'all. And I got my young protege here in Cousteau, and everything I say do, literally he does it. But he knows I got his best interest. And we were talking last night, 9 o'clock. Sign up for this class. It's tonight. I want you in this room. So having big thoughts, big thinking. Yeah. All right, that's all I got. Thank you. Thank you. quick thing, and I know we gotta go, we got a few things, but just hang with me to understand where I'm at with the world. I need y'all to tell me one business that that makes more money than they did 10 years ago. I don't know if I'm saying this the right way, but what I'm going with the analogy, I need you to understand this. What has gone up in the world? What has gone up? Real estate. The next thing, okay, great. The next thing I want somebody to say to me, what hasn't gone up? I need somebody to tell me that. I talked to a builder yesterday. Hey, prices come down? No, they're up. Is coffee up?
Yes.
Is McDonald's up?
Yes.
Is gas up?
Yes.
Is everything up?
No, dollar's down, except for the price of the dollar.
The value of the dollar, $1 for $1, but it's been devalued. You need to understand, it's very important what you just said. No, you were right, you were right. No, it's very important, y'all understand that. Here's the interesting part of the business. I would hope that you would tell all teachers, law enforcement, somebody about this business. And I would hope that y'all would work toward building your passive income right now. It's the greatest tool that Keller Williams will give you. So take another great income. But I want you to think about this because we talked about age. I've been in business 20 years. The average sales price when I was selling it was $187. That exact stinking house. And me and Matt's still here. He is Matt. He's back in the back. We had this argument years ago about 2%, 1%. Y'all see all that. Do you know that commission is all negotiable? It's by agents who make that go down. Y'all do that. Stop it. But do you know that in Chattanooga, North, we average 2.7, 2.8% every year since I've been here? For 20 years. Why is that relevant to the topic? Because you guys are selling the same stinking house that was 20 years ago for more money from 187 to 400 today and making more money. So when we say, so I'm gonna challenge all of you, don't say gas is going up. Because we make more money than we've ever made before, ever. Because you would thought, if the only thing you have to worry about is being a real estate agent is the government saying commission can only be 1%. The government can say it can only be 2%. It is right now, as you learn in licensed law and through school, it's negotiable. Yeah, I've heard me say this before. But you're the greatest industry there is. So when we say gas is up, Bumpy's up, Subway, no one needs Bumpy. Subway, you know what? Who cares? You guys are up. Does that make sense what I just said? Think about that on a daily basis. You have the greatest opportunity ever. Take me away to classes so we can get out of here because I know a lot of you have appointments and we're 5 over, so in my 30 minutes, I'm gonna give y'all, let's go. I mean, you're going, what do you mean, Mike? It's 11:30. No, or 10:30, we go to a little longer. That's what Alex said. Yeah.
Okay, so this week, it is a little quiet this week. We had a busy week last week with classes and it is the last week of the month. So it is a little more quiet. Tonight, we got case four sessions. If you know anybody looking into getting a real estate license.
I'm gonna interrupt you.
Yes.
So who spoke in here? I need everybody to understand. Who heard Tino speak? I heard everybody heard him speak.
Yeah.
Do y'all understand where he got his license? Does everybody know where did you get your license? Oh, that's interesting. This young stud got his license through that. Why are y'all not filling that up? How many people, I see you talking to Tom about it, but I'm gonna call on you. JC, how many people do you have in that case every month?
I don't know, 10, 15.
Yeah.
Did y'all, wait, I need you to say that one more time. I hope that I'm resonating with you guys. You have how many?
Probably like 10 or 15. I just had somebody get licensed in Arkansas, and I had someone get licensed in Tennessee. And then we've got a few more people.
The smartest investor in this room is sitting right there. And anybody in here wants to challenge me, I will say this to you because I love real estate. But he's gonna get paid passive income on that with zero investment, say, hey, free school, they're gonna go anyway. Here you go. And he doesn't, if 4 to 5 stick, maybe 1 or 2 stick.
And what he just said is a really good point too. If you have people that do not live in Georgia but are still looking to get their real estate license, case four is throughout a good chunk of the country. So reach out to me. I can check and see if it's in the state that they're in.
and then get them hooked up with a market center that is in their area. So you're still attached to them and get you that information, so you can still build your downline as well throughout the US. It doesn't just have to be here in Georgia.
Did I hear you say if you go to that school, you go through real estate class for free?
Yes.
Yeah, we pay the market center $600. It is free. Your friend will go in it.
That's never been explained.
It's been there for a long time.
What did it say?
First of all, hold on, let me say this, because this is why. It is not free. There's nothing in this world free. Is it no expense to the person taking it? I did pay for it.
Well,
We use the market center, but you can't say it's free. See, that's why
We cover the tuition for the real estate school.
we can't say it's free and we never will.
Now that I know that, that's great. I gotta go look at it, but I didn't.
Why I stopped the class and said, I skipped the record. There's a needle on the record, right? You know what that is, right? Because they're coming back. Right, I stopped it to make you understand that. Why are you not doing what JC's doing?
Got it.
It's zero investments, Tab's running this, and that's all we do anyway. Okay, go
You
ahead.
didn't explain it. No, explain it.
You're welcome. Okay. Let's work
That
for 3
is
minutes.
tonight, and it is every Tuesday night at 5:30. Wednesday, bilingual session and contracts, that is for our Spanish speakers, and that is always in Spanish. Thursday, we have tech appointments with Tyler, and then also on Thursday, ALC teaches, it's the disc with Ursula. If you don't know what the disc is, if you've never taken the disc, go ahead, there is a free, it shows right up here, the link to the free assessment. Take the disc, come to the class, it's good, it's about personalities and how to communicate with people for different personalities. How that's good for you is because all of the clients that you work with are not the same. So this will teach you how they best communicate and how best to get that information to them. That makes sense. It's a fun class, so take the disc, the
Well,
links are
I
also in the newsletter.
it's important who the person is. Ursula was in the top 5, I know Sandy Springs in one office at one time. She was in the top 5 in that office. She's a rock star. That lives nowhere near here. ALC member never left. Yeah. Yeah, I would go to that all day long.
On next Tuesday, it is the 4th of July.
Yeah. It's a weird day on a Tuesday, right? You guys celebrate America. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So the office will, or at least office staff will not be here. We will not have a team meeting on Tuesday.
Oh, sad. I can help us, Elvis is leaving the building. What you say?
Make sure if you come in on Tuesday that you bring your key card and your keys. We will be here Monday. Also coming up in July, oh, actually today, visit Ashley O'Reilly and his National Sunglasses Day, so hop on over and go see them. In July now, on the 13th, Alice is teaching a class, how I rarely use deals. Also.
Whoa. Attention, I'm not gonna skip over that.
Okay.
Very important. It has been his one thing to go. He just got back from Nashville. He's not gonna talk about himself, so I'm gonna talk about him. He just got back from Nashville teaching. They want him back in the country. What? Knoxville, Nashville, still Tennessee. Just go with it. I've done Mount Marvin in 15 years. If I'm wrong, just go with it. You ever heard a singer not know the words, you just keep on going? It's somewhere in that state. You were teaching and they want you back. He's taught in Dallas a couple months ago. Even if it was a month ago, just go with me. Thank you. Okay. He is teaching all over. They're calling him back and forth. I'm watching him launch his career over, not launch it, but grow it. In the platform what he's done. I challenge all of you to be in this class July 13th. Look at your calendar, add the important stuff in July to grow your business and get out of the office and go grow. Okay, that's all I'll say about that.
We don't give rewards for this, I don't think, but you know, Dallas gets more referrals than any agent this whole office.
That's why well, that's what he's teaching.
Well, I'm telling you, it's shocking to me how many I have to send. He gets all these referrals, he can just send them people.
It's shocking that he gets somewhere. I'm with you, I understand. I love it, but it's who he is and what he's doing, he's put it to the universe. So when you do that and Enrique talked about social media, I mean, Erin is here in the house now, right? We see her right there. I want to exploit those 3. to grow their business for them. That's the reason they're in the top 5, top 3 every single month, because they're continuing to grow their business. All right,
So after you go to Dallas's class on the 13th, join us for happy hour. We're back over at Saj. That is the 13th of July.
my favorite place. I love that
I love
place.
that place. Good food. The next day, if you have a birthday in June or July, join O'Kelly and Shelter for your birthday lunch over at, is it Marlowe's again? Yeah, Marlowe's. Individual invitations will be sent out for that. Cappers lunch, if you capped, I believe that's June and July as well. You're invited to the Cappers lunch at Firebirds, and then as a class on the 20th of July, it's the buyer's agent, the millionaire buyer agent. So that is going to be a fantastic class brought on by Shelter.
That's pretty cool. You gotta add Aaron to that picture, get rid of the mugs of the other 2 guys. Nah. I'm sorry.
And then Mega Camp is coming up in August. That is in Texas. If you're interested in that, if you want more information,
I wanna live by example. I own short-term, long-term and land. I'm paying $1,000. I'll show you my receipt yesterday. Y'all think I like giving away my money? I wanna live by example. Are you gonna be in Mega Camp?
Yes.
He will be there. I will take a picture of us at the bar at midnight, because we'll be there at some point together. That's when I see him. Other than that, I don't see him. Why do I ever see you at Mega Camp?
I'm always not working.
He's out networking to get what? It's not that difficult, people. Thank you. You went with me. See how easy that is? Yeah. Yeah, I think Brian's cool. I think he's good.
Super cool.
It wasn't that cool. I mean, I like him too, but do you think he's good? No, I'm not talking about, like, I'm all about business.
Yes.
Do you think he delivers within 2 hours, not 24 hours?
Absolutely.
That's why he sits right here every week.
Yeah.
That's right. He has changed. If you're a luxury agent, you're crazy not to call him. I got books of the most gorgeous pictures. So I know you're.
even not like, even just regular agents, you don't have to be luxury. His stuff is good. He just did flyers for me, got them to me the next day. Beautiful, absolutely. beautiful. Did a fantastic job. He did this.
Oh, it did in my other, yeah. Hey, guys, hold on. I'm stopping. Stop the press. What is coming up this weekend? What is July 1? It's Saturday, guys. That is the 4th of July celebration. Yes, Tuesday, I get is the 4th. I get it. But where are people gonna show up this weekend? Saturday, Sunday. Some are going to work on Monday, some have not to. Why are have you got tons of requests for like coffee for mug? Where's my girl? You have mug holders on your boat? Shelter Mortgage now? Okay, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. So he shows up with me a gift, usually when he sees me, right? And he's made me sign for my house. So again, do you have that stuff set up for you? Just asking, you should have something given away on Saturday, because that's when most people, I know it's not the 4th, are gonna be celebrating. So have some good stuff. Wear your shirts, do something. And okay, go ahead. I get so excited. That's it. Art, take us away, because a lot of people leave. Remember today, say this, we run till 11, and I'm gonna give you 15 minutes of your life back right now. Art, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm here. Good morning, beautiful people of Chattanooga North, and happy Gratitude Tuesday. It's another beautiful day to be alive, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Just a quick shout out to my man Todd Baraf. He's actually going by a client's house on Friday and installing a roof. I introduced Todd to the lady, I guess a couple of weeks ago. He's been in touch. She was like a nervous Nelly, and he calmed her down. He edified me and said, hey, you're working with Art. You're working with one of the best agents out there. So Todd, just wanted to give you just a quick shout out right there. Okay. And so the positive words for today are to speak positive words into your life every single morning. Think big, think healing, think success, think peace, think happiness, think growth mindset. Always start today with positive energy, because you deserve it. Let's think big, aim high, act bold. Peace and love. Chat North, we out.
You got to eat, you got to grow, you got to net it and then give it away. You can start with the mindset. Love y'all, peace and happiness.
Right.
Happy 4th of July weekend, everybody. We'll finish the month strong. This is it. This is the last week of the month. And we're in July. Yes.